Another thing I wanted to talk about too, your Jesus entering the Matrix to deliver the Sermon on the Mount episode. I, I thought that was fucking genius.
I appreciate it, man.
It was funny because like I have a friend that's pretty much like that. He books all these shows and like 8 people show up to it, and he's like a stoned hippie like that too. So
Right, right,
I
right.
thought that was pretty hilarious. But then, later on into it, you understand the deeper message of like that particular cartoon. It's
Right.
kind of, or the way I interpret it anyway, like it's a 2019 year long game of telephone, and then indoctrination, and uh, it's it's really Christianity, evangelical Christianity in America in particular, is extremely far away from what I believe the original messages of Jesus were.
Right.
Like I'm not a Christian in particular, but if you read what Jesus is purported to have said, a lot of it makes sense. But then when you see, the Christian right, for instance, right now, it's the polar opposite of what I think his message was.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, in fact, it's funny because man, if you really listen to Jesus, if well, you can't listen to him. If you really like read like some of the things that was attributed to him saying, he's not religious at all. Christianity wouldn't even be here. On top of that, I have this line in a poem that I wrote that I'm going to perform soon. It's like, people really want to be like Jesus, they'll start by being Jewish,
Yeah,
because that's what he was,
yeah,
But but yeah, Jesus was not a religious man. If anything, he was tearing down the religion that he was that that he was in. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't starting a new religion. He was saying, be free of mind. Love each other. But we get into these ideologies to where we worship. It's unfortunate because we start worshiping human beings to be bigger than the message. And Jesus is not bigger than the message. The message is bigger than Jesus. But we get confused with that. And I don't know if it's something because it's ancient times or what, but we do it. And it's funny, I'm actually I have to be clear in saying this. I am nothing. I am only as big as my supporters. Like, I am nothing without my supporters and the ones who support me. But I understand how things get misconstrued. And I have a line in one of my poems: if they ever build a church in my name, you better burn it. The concepts I share aren't meant to be worshiped. They're meant to be debated and questioned until you come up with something better. But I feel like I'm so nervous of somebody like trying to idolize me for more than what I am and what I stand for. Just because I believe a lot of us at the core, we share similar messages to what the Buddha, to what Jesus, to what these people who we learn from shared. Alan Watts, Terrence McKenna, they shared all the same message in a sense, love each
yeah.
other, experience life, don't take things so uptight, so but we tend to fan worship these people to where we turn it into a religion.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love that the part of that cartoon where Jesus is. It says like 2,000 years later or something, and Jesus is in church. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is what I fucking had in mind."
Right.
He hates it, dude. It's so funny because I
Right.
think it's so true. He was such a radical and a revolutionary, and now they've just deified him, and they pretty much. What's morbid too is it's a worshiping of him being murdered
Right.
in
Right.
in many
Right.
senses. Yeah,
Right. I mean, they made his symbol as a cross. Really? This man was butchered on a cross, supposedly. You think that's what he wants to be seen? Like,
yeah, it makes no sense to me either.
yeah.